In my mind, there's one choice for roofing around here, and I'd go with your best choice. Whether it's time to replace your roof or repair it, Best Choice Roofing provides top-notch roofing services tailored to meet the unique needs of Detroit homes and businesses. They serve the region and inside the city of Detroit, too. You can find out more at bestchoiceroofing.com/Detroit. That's bestchoiceroofing.com/Detroit, or call 313-474-7031. That's 313-474-7031. Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It is Friday, March 28th, 2025. We're sharing what to know and where to go around Southeast Michigan. And today's episode is going to be all about opening day, especially where to go. I am Jer Stays, and joining me is Mr. Friday on a Friday, Devon O'Reilly. How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm back.
He's back again.
I'm
I like if I had the rights to Eminem, the music rights to Eminem, I would do it.
People got that in their heads. So I'm back. We're talking about opening day. Why not? We are on the cusp of it. It is next week, and I think we're all excited. Yeah,
super excited. We had a number of listeners say, "Hey, the last time you guys really touched on opening day was before the pandemic," and I felt like, you know what? We need to listen to the people, Devon O'Reilly.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And so we should talk opening day. It's one of my favorite. I mean, it really is a holiday in Detroit. It's one of my favorite holidays in Detroit, and I think it deserves being discussed because it's also exciting. I mean, the Tigers could be good this year. They were good last year. No one saw that coming last year. So now the Tigers are really good. We're getting a little bit of an April in the D vibes back. So I'm very excited for this.
Now, how many opening days have you been to? Because I've been to a bunch. I've been to ones that have been really nice. I've been to ones that are very soaked, very cold.
Canceled. Do you remember ones canceled a few years back?
Yep. So what percentage do you think you've been to?
Oh, I've been to every opening day for the past 17 years, probably.
Okay. I would say
ever since I turned 21 and I can have a beer in the morning on opening day, I have been downtown on opening day.
I think I've been to about half of them.
Okay.
It can be a really good time. I'm going to start the conversation with this one caveat. I don't mean to harsh the vibe at all, but just remember when you're coming down to the city, as you are a former downtown Detroit resident, I have lived in the city for a long time. Please treat it like your home. If you would not throw trash on your yard, don't throw trash on ours, because a lot of people do live and just, show some love. There's trash cans. It's great.
Yeah. You know what, Jared? As I actually pulled up. In 2017, I wrote for Daily Detroit an article about the do's and don'ts of opening day. And you know what? The first do not is trash the streets. That's what I have here. Because that people live there. Woodward doesn't automatically become a garbage receptacle. Please respect it. It's hard because I know no matter what, there's always people who are gonna trash stuff.
Well, especially with so many people on the streets, but a little bit goes a long way.
Try and show some respect. The other one I have is don't woo at strangers, and I stand by that.
Really? Still, years later, you don't woo at strangers?
Don't just go woo at strangers. I said save that for a Ric Flair convention. Is what I wrote in 2017.
What about on a pedal pub?
No. Enjoy the company of your pedal pub. If you need to engage other random pedestrians from your pedal pub, you're not having enough fun on your own pedal pub.
Are you pro-woo or anti-woo? DailyDetroit@gmail.com. Or, you know what? Just leave a woo on our voicemail. Let's get into some things about the stadium this year. Then I think we'll talk about some of the events we know that are happening this year, and then some of the old standbys. So I think first, there's been a lot of Strom and Drand, a lot of controversy around changes at the ballpark. First off, I want to mention the signage. There's that new video wall, expanded video wall. Above it for a long time was an LED tiger sign. Mm-hmm. It's been replaced by Comerica Park. A lot of people are upset about it. Your thoughts?
I think this is much ado about nothing. You're taking something that said Tigers and you're changing it to Comerica Park, which I get it's like a corporate logo, but it's literally the name of the ballpark. So I don't see much difference. I mean, do we not know that the Tigers play here? Are there not enough Tigers around? There's giant Tigers the size of buses on either side. So I'm not sure this makes much of a difference. I think obviously it's a branding thing. I mean, I get it when you're broadcasting, and if you see a ball out there, you're going to see Comerica Park, and it's probably a branding play. And maybe we don't know the details. Maybe Comerica gave them more money and then they did it. And I understand it.
I don't like everything having a corporate brand on it, and so I understand the emotional reaction. But if I take that hat off and I look at it from a distance, which I did the other day, it don't look bad.
I mean, and kudos.
I've seen way worse.
Oh, I think about, we are lucky to have Comerica Park be somewhere that like it actually, it's been Comerica Park since its inception. For 25 plus years, it's been Comerica Park. And that's nice. You get some of these, guaranteed rate field in Chicago. I mean, WTF is that? Or like the Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans. Like, and they change every few years. I mean, some cities have it really bad with like awfully named corporate stadiums. Comerica Park has become endearing to us. So you know what? Let them have it.
So I'm kind of a traditionalist with this, and it should surprise no one that my second favorite ballpark outside of Detroit is Wrigley Field.
There you go.
I love that feel of baseball, and that gets me into a change that gets under my skin. I know there are reasons, but it gets under my skin because I feel like one of the magic parts about baseball is that every stadium is different. Every field is different. The field being different and inconsistent is part of the game to me. It's part of the joy of baseball. And they removed the keyhole, the last one, to have a dirt strip between the pitcher's mound and home plate. The last one was Comerica Park in Detroit. And that one actually, strangely enough, hits me in the feels because I love those unique touches.
Yeah, this is one of those things you kind of have to see it to understand it, because when people said they're removing the keyhole, I was like, what? But I saw it, and I guess, you don't really realize that it's unique for us to have that strip of dirt between home plate and the pitcher's mound. Again, I don't even really notice it. I'm not gonna to shed a tear over it. We were the last ones, so a little bit sad for historical context and uniqueness. But from what I read, it was based on player feedback. So, I guess you got to take that into account.
I can see that it would speed up the ball. Say it comes off the bat, it's going towards the pitcher. If you hit grass versus you hit dirt, I feel like there's a difference in velocity there. And I can see like a safety point of view for it. That doesn't mean I still miss some of the things about Tiger Stadium because I have memories of Tiger Stadium. Although I will fully admit, there were a lot of deficiencies of that old ballpark.
Yeah, I mean,
because it was never modernized, unlike some other places.
If you're being honest, you can like the atmosphere of Tiger Stadium better. I'm okay with saying that, but you can't reasonably say that it was a better ballpark experience from, everything from facilities to views to.
I do not miss community trough urinals.
Good God, no.
Did you ever experience those?
Of course.
Okay.
Joe Louis was the biggest offender. They were just god awful. But I don't think Gen Z understands what we were the inhumane features of these other ballparks way back when.
There's also been a lot of talk about these $100,000 seats. This new seating area, which is what a lot of people are saying are the biggest changes to Comerica Park, this more luxury seating. I think it breaks down, depending on your package, to about $200 a game or something. Starting at $200,
which would be I think they said 16,000 something.
So I guess they're heated and cooled seats.
Well, as you know, at a ballpark, it can be you can be baking during a baseball game, or you can be freezing. It just depends on the weather.
I think this got up under a lot of people's skin because there is this idea that baseball should always be affordable and accessible. And I remember being out in the bleachers and paying just a few bucks and having that kind of game of the people thing. And the more things you see like this, the more it feels like to some that it's kind of losing its roots.
Well, listen, this is the way of the world. Everything has a low end and a high end. It works for cars, for homes, for coffee, for booze, for anything else. And it's not like these new seats are not restricting anybody from going to Comerica. You're just not going to get those seats. I'm not going to sit in those seats. You're not going to sit in those seats. I don't care.
If a listener buys those seats, we'll take those.
It's still affordable it is still relatively affordable to go to a baseball game, more so than a hockey game, more so than certainly football, more so than basketball. It's still the most affordable sport to attend. And, again, for reference, These are going to be the most luxury premium seats, the best seats in the house, so to speak, at a Tigers game. To get the best seats in the house at a Lions game or a Pistons game or a Red Wings game, it is much more expensive than what these will be.
Now, you said the most affordable seats. I hear it now. I already know some commenter is going to say Detroit City FC for the affordability.
Well, I'm a Big Four guy. I'm sorry. Detroit City FC, I respect you, but they're not Big Four.
Really?
Come on. That's not a reason. Come on.
Okay.
We have Big Four sports. Well, I mean, how far do we go? I know I'm going to. I know we have so many listeners that are FC fans, but there are Big Four major sports.
For you if they were MLS or Division I? Would it become Big Five?
Probably yes. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't make the rules.
One bite. Everybody knows the rules. The
four major sports. I mean, what do you want to say? So yes, DCFC. But then if you throw them in, then they throw off the metrics of everything. They're the cheapest of anything. They're whatever. They're the most accessible.
Let's talk about opening day itself. There are a series of events that are happening that I want to mention before we get into our general tips. First off, a opening day tailgate at the Whiskey Factory. This is where Detroit City Distillery will open the gates of their factory just off of Gratiot Avenue in Eastern Market. Now, that's not too far from the ballpark.
No.
They're doing a lot of interesting stuff. And then people who park at the Whiskey Factory will get $2 off of their first cocktail. There will be cornhole, ladder ball, baseball toss, music, and cocktails. They have a bar in an Airstream to check out. That kicks off at 9 a.m. and runs till 1 p.m.
That sounds awesome. Love DCD. And you're right. It actually isn't that far to walk if you were to tailgate a little bit at the Whiskey park at the Whiskey Factory, tailgate a little bit at Detroit City Distillery, and walk down Gratiot to the ballpark. I mean, that's totally doable, especially if it's going to be like in the 50s.
And if you want any sort of reasonably cost parking, you're going to have to use your Chevrolegs.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be tough to park, but that's up to you. I mean, I don't feel bad about that at all. You pay for what you get. You want to walk a little bit, which I endorse walking a little bit. Then you get cheaper parking. If you want to pay $50 to park, you can park, good spot.
I would say start early with a lot of these things. If you want cheaper prices, if you want more access, start early or do something where you take an Uber in and then understand you're going to stay a little later. Don't try to get an Uber right when the game closes. Hang out in town a little bit later and then go. This
brings me to a point, and I'm going to harken back again to what I wrote in 2017, because I think it's important for anyone who's maybe an opening day novice. The real celebration of opening day happens from the morning into the game, into when the game starts, and then people kind of file into the game, and then people find a place to watch it. The party of opening day is essentially, I would say, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. I don't want people to think I'm going to come back at 4 or 5 p.m., 6 p.m. It's dead. I believe me, I've been to enough of these. People go find things to do, they leave, there's nothing. Opening day,
or they grab dinner.
Yeah, basically opening day lasts into the game, and then it's kind of over. So you don't miss the celebration. It's in the morning. It's not in the evening.
This is a day drinking
event.
Yes,
absolutely. If you're drinking in the evening, you're not celebrating opening day anymore. I don't know what else.
Now, one event that does run later, if you are somebody who wants to do a marathon, Firebird Tavern is doing a tent party again. That's from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 21 plus, of course. Firebird Tavern is in Greektown. So you want to go ahead and plan that. There's going to be some different issues with construction and stuff. So you can get to them. You can easily drive around, do what you need to do. But Firebird Tavern's been around for a long time. They've been on the show before, the owners. And it's something that you definitely will want to check out. They've got tacos, burgers,
great food,
Jack Daniels, all that great bar food.
I love the bar food at Firebird, and they got plenty of space. They got space upstairs, they got space downstairs. They're going to have a tent. So I would say if you're going to hit Greektown, hit Firebird.
So historically, one thing that Firebird does well that I think other places need to copy is that on these big game days, they strip down their menu so you get faster service.
Absolutely. Because normally, again, that's a good point. Normally they actually have a pretty substantial menu, which is all very good, but that can take a while in the back of the house. So paring it down. You just know you're going to get good stuff. And they've got great beer selection. Firebird would definitely be one to hit. Gillies obviously will be popping. You'll have to get to Gillies early. My original, the one I always used to go to, our go-to spot on opening day was always Hockey Town. And now I don't even know how Hockey Town operates. I don't know if it operates only on game days.
Oh, they're open. I just never hear about them.
There you go.
They posted on social media a week ago.
Hockey Town comes alive on opening day, and that's a place that we would usually start at because it's 3 levels of fun plus a rooftop plus outdoors. They do, I think, charge cover. You got to get there early. It gets packed by 10. So check that out if you want. That's certainly going to be a party there.
Places they're going to be hopping include you think about the Paradise Valley Harmony Park District.
Yeah.
Listen, I went to Parlay the other day.
Okay.
For the first time. I get why it kicks off. Parlay's over on Washington Boulevard and Grand River over there, just right by the Book Tower. Parlay is going to be the place, I think, in a lot of ways, too. And I don't mean that. It's not like a paid endorsement or anything. I was like, because so many people I know are like, Parlay is always packed. It's the thing. It's the wave. And I was like, why? And I got in there and I was like, oh, yeah, plenty of TVs, big bar area, lots of seating, able to handle high volume, straightforward menu. And we don't have that many, like you got Parlay and you got Gillies, that are kind of into that vibe.
Yeah. There'll be the big party in Grand Circus. They always do a big party there.
Yeah. What's going to be interesting is when Capitol Park,
right now where you can't go is Capitol Park.
Right. It's getting redone. The businesses are open, but the park itself is being redone. Once that work is done, that's going to be a really interesting place to do stuff. A couple places I also wanted to mention, the Brakeman and Penny Reds, they're right next to each other. They're doing, if you're into craft beer, the Brakeman might be a place to go.
Yeah.
They have like a token system for that stuff. Get some chicken. Big screens will be on the TV. And then if you're all about dessert, and I am, Mr. Dips is doing this thing called the Eye of the Tiger, which is a sundae with a tiger's orange shell, sprinkles, and in a baseball helmet. So I'm looking like if you've got kids or if you're just a kid at heart, a sundae in a baseball helmet? Come on.
That sounds nice. I like it. Basically spend your whole, you can spend a good amount of time in Parker's Alley there.
All right, let's talk about our general tips, not specific events that we've heard about, places that we like to go. I know that you've been a fan of the Lone Goat as of late.
Yeah, that's right across from Parker's Alley or at the end of Parker's Alley. Lone Goat was great. I was there last opening day. I think they're going to have a pared down menu, but they've got great beers. It's very accessible. There's a second floor. It gives you nice views, traditional English pub. They don't have huge TVs. It'd be a good place to go before the game, I would say, because you can kind of hang out a little bit there. The David Whitney building, Presley's there. I think they usually serve kind of hot dogs outside. The David Whitney building lobby, the living room of downtown Detroit, as some people say. That'll be great. They'll have some activations there. So there's gonna be a lot. You shouldn't have any trouble finding stuff. It's just, I would say get down early if you care about having a nice spot, get down there early. If you just want to, stuff your face and drink beer outside, then you can probably get there anytime, I suppose.
Yeah, I recently had a really good time at Easy Peasy as well. Around that area,
they've got a great location for opening day.
Would you say if you want to wander around and find your place, you should come kind of early? I feel like switching parties, the closer you get to the game, is going to be harder and harder.
It gets tough. You got to plop yourself by 10 o'clock. I feel like that's
by 10 o'clock. Okay.
Just find your spot by 10 o'clock. I would say 10:30 at the latest, because then stuff starts to get crowded. Yeah. Now, unless weather is terrible, but right now it looks like it'll be okay.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of showers in the morning, but we're going to be in the 50s, which is pretty great for an opening day.
It's not bad. It's been much. I mean, I've seen snow on opening day.
One time I was at a private event on the roof of the Madison building.
Okay.
And it was awful out. And even though there was cover, the rain blowing and everything else was just, I had a good time. Don't get me wrong, but it just, there is a vibe difference between when the weather is bad and the weather is good.
Absolutely. Oh yes. That is absolutely true, Jer. It's a big difference. So weather will make a difference. It looks like it'll be okay, but I think we're gonna have a good time either way.
I would also say that if you're planning on using the queue line for things, it's gonna be busy. The queue line is always busy.
And the people mover, don't forget, you can use the people mover too.
People mover, yep. If you're gonna park on and
utilize our minimal public transit.
And I would say also be respectful with your parking. Places like Brush Park and other places, keep an eye out. There's actually placards now where things are resident parking, and if you don't want to get whacked with a ticket,
tickets are $45
or more, depending on it, or more. Yeah. And so keep your eye out on it. And that's where it's also good to get there early. Because if you're trying to get to the game at like noon, you're gonna be paying a lot of money. It's gonna be annoying.
That's a problem. I would really suggest you do not get there that late.
Well, Devon O'Reilly, it is so good to talk to you about all this stuff. Opening day is a Detroit tradition, and it's wonderful to welcome so many people to the city and enjoy responsibly.
Enjoy responsibly. That kind of sums it up, Jer. Just remember to respect the city, respect your environment, and be nice to each other.
Yes. Be nice or leave, as they say in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Well, we can take that here.
Yeah, we can take that. I think there's a sign that says that in the old Miami.
There you go.
Well, as always, if you've got feedback, dailydetroit@gmail.com. April 4th is when opening day is coming. We figured we'd get this in your podcast streams soon enough so that you could make some plans.
Well, because next Friday will be opening day.
Right.
It'll be too late. We'll be out and about.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to our members on Patreon for supporting us. You are the absolute best. Feedback is always dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. I'm Jer Stays.
I'm Devon O'Reilly.
Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit. Talk next week.